allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
George, can we have a roll call, please?
Okay, Commissioner Bacco,
Here.
Commissioner Godioso,
Here.
Commissioner Burkowski,
Here.
Commissioner Neary,
Here.
Commissioner Whitaker,
Here.
Michael Pierce,
Here.
Lisa Catania,
Here.
and myself, George Needles.
Thank you. Welcome to the Upper Chichester Board of Commissioners, March 10th meeting, 2022. Before we open up, we did have an executive meeting tonight with personnel and litigation. We'll open up to the citizens' comment. We'll go on with the telephone first. By participating by the phone, you'll be dialing 571-748-4021. That's 571-748-4021. Enter in the PIN 357-1690 £. That's 357-1690 £. So unmute your phone, press *6. Please state your name and address prior to making your public comment. A couple minutes. Make note, there was no citizen comment by telephone tonight. We'll open up the citizens' comment to the floor. We'll open up to the public to the left of my side, to the right on the floor. Pastor? Yep, and nothing tonight? To the right side of my room and the left side. Make note, there was no citizens' comments tonight. We'll move on. Have approval of the minutes from the February 10th, 2022 Board of Commissioners regular monthly meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered. Number 6 through 8 will be raised from Madam Vice President Nicole Whitaker.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Consider a motion granting a fee waiver to Delaware County seniors for the use of Fury Road Fieldhouse on June 13th and 14th from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. for a countywide pickleball tournament.
Second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
Consider a motion granting a fee waiver for Chichester Middle School Parents Association for the use of the Fury Road Fieldhouse on May 20th from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. for an 8th grade formal.
Second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
Consider a resolution making application to the AARP Community Challenge Grant Program for the purchase of various amenities to make a more walkable community for seniors.
Second. I hope that's not a conflict of interest for me.
Too late. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered. Number 9 through 13, Commissioner Neary.
Thank you, sir. Consider a resolution updating the Upper Chichester Township fee schedule. So moved.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
Consider a motion approving a 2022 real estate tax refund to Victoria Stack for overpayment in the amount of $443.29.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
Consider a motion approving the list of bills in the amount of $443,321.78.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
Consider a motion approving tax fee exoneration list 03-2022. So moved.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
And finally, consider a resolution authorizing the disposition of certain township records in accordance with the Pennsylvania Municipal Records Retention Act. So moved.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered. Number 14 through, where we at? Like 19. 21, yes. I'm going down. Commissioner Mike Audioso.
Thank you. I'd like the board to consider resolution authorizing ESCO release number 10 for Profco Pineville Boothwyn LLC in the amount of $104,000, $808.52.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
I'd like the board to consider a resolution authorizing escrow release for Michelle and David Artmount in the amount of $654.00.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
I'd like the board to consider a motion authorizing the escrow release for Christopher Fareeb in the amount of $1,332.00.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
Like the board consider a motion authorizing a permit refund for canceled work to Christopher Bareb of 406 Jefferson Avenue in the amount of $590.00.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
Like the board consider a motion granting a stormwater infiltration waiver to Jameer Montgomery for his new construction project on 2366 Thomas Avenue.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
Like the board consider a motion accepting the subdivision application extension granted by applicant for the 1405 Meeting House Road project.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
Number 20, I believe, has been struck from the agenda from tonight.
Yes.
Right, number 21, like the board to consider a motion granting Porfirio Espinoza of 2805 Chichester Avenue in Boothwyn a waiver from the annual mobile food operations fee, and furthermore grant him ability to operate a food truck from the parking lot of 2805 Chichester Avenue for a time period no greater than 3 months.
Any questions? George, did you, on this one, he's aware that the truck's going to have to be inspected, health inspected?
Yeah, yes. The applicant will be required to get a health license for the truck and get an inspection prior to being able to open up or operate there.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Number 22 to 23, Mr. Biacco.
Consider resolution making application to the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development local share account statewide program for the purchase of a street sweeper.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
Consider a motion authorizing the sale of the township-owned generator previously installed at 8500 Peoria Road through municipabid.com.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Order. Number 24 and 25 will be read through me. Nicole, you want to do it?
Sure. Consider a motion accepting the Boothwyn Town Center plan prepared by CH Planning and furthermore committing to take necessary steps to accomplish said plan.
Wait a second. No.
Second it.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
George, can I get a roll call?
Sure. Commissioner Whitaker,
Yes.
Commissioner Neary,
No.
Commissioner Rakowski,
On the last vote.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Godioso,
No.
Commissioner Vaca,
Yes.
Commissioner Rakowski,
Yes.
motion carries.
Consider a motion accepting the grant writing proposal from CH Planning for the preparation of a transportation and community development initiative grant application in the amount of $4,000.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Need a roll call vote, Joe, or George?
Commissioner Whitaker,
Yes.
Commissioner Neary,
No.
Commissioner Godioso,
No.
Commissioner Vaca,
Yes.
Commissioner Rakowski,
Yes. Sure, thank you. We'll move on to the commissioner's report. We'll start with Madam Vice President Nicole Whitaker.
All right, thank you. Good evening, everyone, again. Just a couple reminders that the library is having their bingo night here at the rec center on Saturday, March 19th. Thanks, Joe. Saturday, March 19th, bingo. And then they're also having a crab feast in August. So the tickets are actually almost sold out for the crab feast in August, but they are still selling tickets for bingo. A reminder also, the seniors dinner is going to be, what is it, Sunday? Oh, I'm sorry, it's actually a Thursday, March 31st, right? Yeah, I have the invitation right here. Thursday, March 31st from 5 to 9. So if you haven't already RSVP'd, please do so to, the person on the invitation. Also on Sunday, March 20th, we have the Delaware County Association of Township Commissioners dinner on at Anthony. So if you haven't, I believe, George, you would already turn that in, right? That's already submitted. Okay.
Just as a quick note, so yourself, Commissioner Neary, and Commissioner Vaca all met the requirement for the service awards.
Okay, right. So you'll receive a service award.
Because I already told them I wasn't going.
Oh, sure. Yep, I'll get it for you. I think that's it. I don't have anything else.
What time was that, March 20th? You know?
At Anthony's?
Yes.
Usually I think 6:30.
Thank you. Move along to, anybody have any questions for Commissioner Whitaker? We'll move along to Commissioner Joe Neary.
Thank you. The financial reports and the police reports are available at the office. In the police pension plan audit that we received last week, there's just a small accounting error, which of course I caught. There's a reversal error, which we told Jim Kennedy about, and he's going to correct the paperwork. But if you look at page 5 under the police report, you would see that the numbers don't actually come to zero the way they're reported. There was just a transposition error, so we're getting him to fix that. As I indicated, the police report is also available, and that is everything that I have. Thank you.
Anything to be brought to the attention of Mr. Neary? Now we'll go to Commissioner Michael Gaudioso.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Really don't have anything to report on tonight. I think I covered everything last week. If anybody has any questions for me, I'd be more than happy to answer them. Again, I'm going to be working with our township manager, doing a little town hall meeting with the people of Peachtree. I haven't made that known to them when that time is going to be, but I'd like to just walk the street with our professionals to see how we can improve the parking down along that corridor. So that's my biggest agenda that I'm going to be working on. And also, we're working on the saldo, the rewrite of the saldo for the township. It's taking a little longer than expected. I'm hoping to get a draft copy of what we have soon, so we can just, I can share it with the members of the planning board. Other than that, I don't have anything else to report on. If anybody has any questions for me, as I indicated earlier, I'd be happy to answer them. Hold on.
We'll move along with Commissioner Bianco.
Thank you. Highway and sanitation, me and George met with Putnam G. Marie yesterday about the rerouting of the trash routes and stuff. And we took into consideration, they gave us 5 options. We kind of are looking into tweaking one to present to the board. Going to go back to the people that did the study. They're going to give us their opinion, and I think we'll have something probably in a week or two, George.
Yeah.
Definitely by next meeting, caucus. We'll have it out there to discuss and see if that's it. I think we decided to try something with recycling first, and probably just works out. Just do it and get it over with. We had some points and we all had different ideas we wanted to present and try, and I think we threw something together that might work out. Then we'll meet with the union and the guys up there and explain everything to them. Nobody's losing their job and stuff like that. You know, we just try to be more efficient. Everybody's got a copy of the Sewer Authority reports in their binder. Andrew was nice enough to print them for us tonight. And so I have, unless anybody has anything.
Nope, it don't sound it. We're moving along to mine. All reports should be on file, George. I'm not sure if you got the ones, but we could give them to him for the fire marshal and the medics. Not sure if everybody got it, but you can see it in mine, but we'll get it to you. Yeah, he just has it. Okay. We'll get it to you tonight. It's on file though. The emergency management was, thank you for the resolution for the plan for the Boothville Town Center, so we can move forward on that. Other than that, been a pretty busy week for the medics and the fire department, as the chief said last week. It didn't get any quieter the last couple of days. So not sure how they're working on the grant for the personnel, full-time personnel. Other than that, if anybody has anything to ask me, or just move along with the professionals.
I just have just one thing. Despite of how I voted tonight, I'd still like to work with you on the improvement on the meeting house and
Sure.
trying to get the parking to improve the parking within that little spot, within that little corridor,
Right.
and the walkability. So I would still love to work with you on that. So if that's the case, I'd like to. As soon as I get some free time, I'd like to see what I can do.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. We'll move on to the professionals. We'll start with the engineer, Catania engineer, Lisa.
Thank you, Mr. President. I do have a copy of my report. Other than what I reported last week, I do need to advise that we extended the bid time for the Somerset Stormwater Project because of a small issue with the material that was specified by Falcon. We got that resolved, and we sent out an addendum and extended the bid date till next week. So I'll have those for you next month.
That's extended a week.
It's extended a week, yes. The other thing that I have, the thermoplastic pavement markings, I'd like to go through that because it was a sole bid, check that through the ECMS system, the PennDOT system for bidding, and then talk about it at the next Public Works meeting before I present anything to the Board of Commissioners. That's all I have, unless anyone has any questions.
Just two questions, as I mentioned earlier in my report, Ms. Catania. I'd like to do a study on Peach Street about improving the parking. So hopefully, whenever you have a moment, and maybe we'd like to get Brian Sedell out there also, just to take a look at it. And then, again, maybe getting a draft copy of where we're at presently with the Saldo rewrite.
Yeah, I've been working on the definitions. That was the next thing that we
Okay.
looked at.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Anything else to be brought to the attention, engineer?
Yep, I have couple questions. I received an email from Jean Marie regarding the road program. And I know that I talked briefly with Put about it, but one of the things that I wanted to do is the curbing on the was it the sidewalks where they have the ADA compliance, right? Aren't they covered by liquid fuels? Okay, so would I have to identify the areas that
Right, if you identify the intersections, out to the Burbank, and they are designed per the grade.
okay.
Piggyback a question off of that. Just a question, Lisa, have you gotten any bids back on road programs yet? I guess my concern, I've been thinking, is just the cost of oil is so high right now. And talking to some of the contractors, are saying the asphalt is through the roof. So is there any benefit in us kind of getting into a little bit of a holding pattern to see if anything kind of turns?
I can tell you that we just received for restoration. A smaller project than believe it or not, the number from last. The only thing that concerns me is we don't know where things are going. I don't know. For some reason has gone, the price of stone of aggregate has gone up. So, an aggregate's used in. I, at this point, don't know that it benefits us to it.
I can't see blacktop not going up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an oil-based product. I hope I'm wrong, but
I don't know. Sometimes related.
Yeah, we need to get going.
Right, and I thought of that actually, it was in another meeting, yeah. Very afraid of this,
Mhm.
especially when contractors.
we can take roads off if we have to, right? I mean, if it goes way up, we can all take, a street or two off our list or something.
I think what George is saying, get it in now, so we're above the,
All right.
because
I don't
like
think they're gonna
Lisa's-
lock you into,
So,
So we haven't had a motion yet to authorize.
so maybe we should do that. Can we do that?
Well, so I guess that's what I was kind of thinking is, if we would need to do similar to what's stated right now under new business for the other motion, we'd have to do the same process. But does it make sense to authorize the advertising of the project and us work out the final numbers in
Yeah,
the interim?
yeah. So we don't have to
As
wait
opposed
another
to
month.
waiting a whole nother month.
Right.
We not budgeted, we have available to us about $500,000.
Liquid fuels.
If everybody's list is done, then we can do it, right? Everybody's streets lists are done. Everybody submitted something.
Yeah, we're finishing it up.
Sorry.
So
Mhm.
we gotta-
Yeah, no, I have
That's
my
me not
street.
paying attention.
Yeah,
But if you could do the authorization tonight, and then we.
right.
so if we did the authorization on the new business, since it wasn't on the agenda, she could still add her ramps that she's thinking about doing and get the list to us so we're not behind the 8 ball 30 days from now.
Yeah, so,
And I
so,
think that's a good idea.
so just do it to a not to exceed and then we can.
Right. And just, then we get the numbers, we get them, that's all. We could do that. Under new business. So that's, we already have one there. So, Lisa, the only thing I have is, are you done, Nicole? Sorry about that. I did meet with Alfred Arico, Putt and I, and we had some suggestions before it's finally, I guess, before it gets turned over to us. There's a couple of issues with lighting at the island. Can't control drivers because it was happening when we were standing there, people making left-hand turns in the Wawa from Chichester Avenue, which I thought the sign was a little too far up, but there's nowhere really to put it before the driveway. And the other thing was a block, do not block on the street there by McKay Avenue. So he said he's going to write something up. I haven't seen it yet, but not just the suggestions before you have your final with them. So we can see.
I don't control any of that, though.
Okay.
That's PennDOT. So I spoke to Al this afternoon. I'm going to reach out to PennDOT to see whether Clem is able to send me a copy of the punch list that PennDOT put together for the project. I know PennDOT has not closed out their portion, the PennDOT portion of the project.
'Cause one of the suggestions
So-
where we have the poles now at the island, where the crosswalk
Yeah.
is to bring them in a little bit because they're right at the edge
Yeah.
of the curve. We
Yeah.
think that's what's happening.
Well, it's funny because the obstruction, the detail for PennDOT actually says that it should be a minimum of 18 inches. So I have a feeling that they measured it from the edge of the mountable curb and not the top of the mountable
right.
curb.
It looks,
But that's why I want to see if it was on PennDOT's punch list, because that way I can, it's already taken care of. If not, then we've got to plead our case to Alex McLean or Clem
okay. I just
to
wanted
get it
make you
done.
aware of it.
So, yeah, and then he said something about putting an additional light on one of the poles.
Yeah, there's a possibility of a street lamp in
Yep.
front of the church, which would be directly into the island itself. So we'll see if it works.
Yeah, he spoke to me today and said he was going to put a list together.
Okay. Anybody else have anything for the engineer?
Has the fence issue been resolved?
I
The
I
white
guess they're
fence?
still waiting for the fence to come in, right?
No, the white fence.
Oh, yeah, that's all taken care of. The,
It looks, I mean, look, I drove by it. I mean, it looks nice, but.
no, they
this-
just wanted a signed document that the neighbor was agreeable, that's where it went.
Oh, okay.
With it.
Okay.
Absolutely. We're moving along with our solicitor, Michael Pierce.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just very briefly, we received the approval from the engineer's office for the escrow numbers related to the Gear Plastics land development. Now that I have those numbers, I'll be able to work on getting those agreements and the escrow agreements underway so that they can begin their project. They're quite anxious to do that. We have several hearings coming up. I did receive a request today from Mr. Warzales concerning his property, that he had done the work that needed to be done as recommended by the engineer, and asking for the township's consent to release him from further obligation under that. I have not heard anything from the other property owner, but that hearing is coming up in April. The Wayner matter is listed also, I believe, in June right now. And we have several other minor matters coming up, but everything else is in order. I'll have a more detailed report for you next.
Anything to be brought to the attention for the solicitor? Yes. And that's June, right?
Pierce, any update with the county taking over the health department versus municipalities still continuing?
There are multiple things, but if we talk about that, it should be done in executive
Okay,
session.
thank you.
Okay, we'll move along to the township manager, George Needles.
All the reports are on file. The only thing I really want to reference tonight is the grant report for the month. Just to note, so submitted applications for the year so far, we have a little over $1.4 million in submitted applications that we're waiting response on. And current applications in progress are another 635,000. So by next month, we will have applied for well over $2 million worth of grants so far this year, with a less than 10% required match on that. So we're trying to find grants that are going to help us best maximize our cash so that we don't have to spend a ton of cash to get the money from them. So seems to be working so far, and the departments have been really jumping on board with working together to get these applications done.
That's it? Oh, my God. But anything to be brought to the attention of the manager? If not, we'll move on to the new business. We'll do the first part that's already on the minutes here. We did bring it up last week. Mr. Neary, you want to do that?
Sure. Consider a motion activating the Civil Service Commission to administer civil service examinations for the position of police officer in Upper Chichester Township. So moved.
Oh, Joe, we have to,
You have to amend the agenda first.
I'm sorry. Consider a motion to amend the agenda to include the following action item. So moved.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
So consider a motion activating the Civil Service Commission to administer the civil service examination for the position of police officer in Upper Chichester Township. So moved.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
And the schedule for that is in your packet as it was last week.
Now we need somebody
Do me do.
for this road program.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do it. Consider a motion to amend the agenda to include the following action item.
Need a second.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
Consider a motion approving the 2022 road program in the amount not to exceed $500,000.
Second.
I'm sorry,
Authorizing the bid.
authorizing the bid for that.
Got a second? Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered. That would do it for the night.
I have one thing that I forgot. The Creek Parkway. Are we sharing the cost? Are we all putting money in from our wards to get that road done?
We were going to discuss it more.
Is that on the list, just to get some kind of?
I know we talked about it last week, but I think,
nah, the crux is still that, do we pave prior to doing the work over there, or do we just work? I
oh, right,
think
right.
Diminished
Okay.
returns. I think you got to just try to see if we can maybe get over there and do some patching until we can get that work done. If the bid comes in less than that 500,000, you could potentially do a second program, correct? So that could be something that's looked at as like, if we can get with Pico and expedite that work to get done over the summertime, you may be able to authorize a second road program to be completed in like an October, November timeframe.
Well,
Oh, okay.
If I may, the stormwater work that needs to be done on Creek Parkway is eligible under your liquid fuels program.
Okay.
So we could look at it that depending on what the costs are, we'd have to go to PennDOT prior to bid, have them review the bid documents. They would agree that yes, it meets their 408. And then from there, we could bid it and utilize, do a 329. Don't know that that's what you want to do, but that's a potential.
But that project will probably take up one whole year's worth of,
You're right. You're absolutely correct.
we probably wouldn't be able to do nothing else that year.
No, but you do have
Most
the
of the roads are
ability,
done now.
you do have the ability to borrow against the liquid fuels fund
Oh, yeah.
and pay back from the liquid fuels fund. So that could potentially be like do an issuance from them. So that is a possibility if you wanted to say spread the cost of that project out over 10 years.
And put certain
We'd have to
money
see-
toward it.
Yeah, we can look at, we can start to get together numbers to see what that looks like.
Are we at the point, do you know, Joe? I know Bud's doing a heck of a job up there, him and Jean Marie. I could almost say, as First Ward Commissioner, that once the time I'm done my third term here, 90% of my ward's almost done, probably 95, where they have a program now that they're keeping an eye out, because we don't have to keep doing them. So you're right, that loan may offset to say, hey, Ward 1's done in 2 years. You can't wait too much longer for Creek Parkway, but
Yeah,
at the
there's
same
some-
time,
There's some other work that's got to be done in
Right.
there that.
there's a lot to think about it, and with the numbers, but I'm sure Ward 1's on, I know Ward 4 was never going to be caught up yet because it's so big, but 1, 2, and 3, or 1, 3, and 5.
Cranked up, eh?
No, I'm just saying. No, I'm just trying to,
Like,
it may take, I mean, I may be done in another 2 years almost, and then have a little bit where I'm on a schedule that I don't have to redo the roads, or whoever's coming in after me to say, hey, that's great. Same way with Nicole and Mike's and Joe's, that playing harder on his ward to get it done, and then the bigger projects. So, I mean, there's a little more that we could do. All these ramps, we got
See,
plenty of
some
these
bigger
ramps.
roads in the third, fourth ward, like
right.
Cherry Tree Road's ours.
Oh, yeah,
I
unfortunately.
mean, I'm trying to, we threw a piece in last year,
Yeah.
Not saying I want to take it all. I'm not saying here tonight, even for the next person sitting in my seat where it's at, I'm not throwing Ward 1 to say, yeah, you're not getting any more streets done. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is we're at the point that we've been able to do this for the last 10 years, 11 years. So we just have some other options to look at, that's all.
Yeah, the fourth ward has significant sections that haven't been touched in years, especially the Gardendale section, which I know he wants to do Greenwood this year. I know we've had significant deterioration in some of the developments that were put in the 1990s when I was originally on the board. I know Yorktown is an issue. I know East Colonial and West Colonial. I mean, there's significant areas, and they tend to be wider roads. You know, for example, last year we did Trophy because it had been really deteriorated, and it's a much wider road. That's almost a boulevard, Trophy. But so, yeah, you know, I'd be very reluctant to divert money, I mean, from my ward.
Just putting it out there, that's all. Anything else?
I do.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, I did forget to mention it. I am going to be meeting with Mr. Minner and Mr. Gorga on Monday night prior to, just to clean this up, because we had one correction where we wanted to put in a 5% minimum, but also we wanted to go meet with the fire companies on March the 16th, correct? So if there's anybody that has any amendments, changes, suggestions, questions, please get them to me before Monday or Tuesday night so we can go over them. Thank you.
And on that note, Butch, can you just get an idea of how many members you're looking at on all 3 fire companies on the criteria that you put up? I mean, just an idea.
We kind of looked at that number and thought that it would probably be somewhere between 40 and 50 members that would qualify at some level at some point. But I would estimate, I think we estimated somewhere between $40,000 and $50,000 as a maximum, which is a whole lot cheaper than hiring a couple fire police or firemen.
Firemen, absolutely. So, all right, thank you.
I just like, not looking to debate this topic tonight, but I just want to put out to the board, I believe the drop boxes, they're in the PA Supreme Court, whether or not it's going to be warranted to use them still. But I just think the board should consider whether or not there's a real necessity to continue to use the drop boxes. So,
Right.
and I think we should discuss it next month, and then.
Drop boxes, what drop boxes?
One out
the-
there
the
and out
front-
Oh,
front.
voting boxes.
Yes.
Drop
I'm
box
thinking
and mailing
of,
box,
like the-
whatever it is.
So
Yes, okay.
I'd like the board to consider that. Thank you.
Yeah, anything else? Need a motion to adjourn? So move.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.